A clash of trainers with a mysterious aura is upon us. AZ, the former king of the Kalos region and creator of the ultimate weapon, wielding ancient Pokemon, faces Steven Stone, the former champion of the Hoenn region, and a Steel-type expert in an epic clash of fates. Which powerhouse trainer will claim all the glory? Let's head to the arena to find out. Alright, it's time for this battle to unfold as AZ is going to lead with his Torkoal, where Steven is going to go in with his Aggron, so quite an interesting matchup at the start. AZ definitely with a very bulky Pokemon overall, whereas Aggron does have a little bit more offensive prowess. However, Torkoal does have the Drought ability, which is going to power up its fire moves, although Steven is deciding to stay in and set up the Sandstorm right away, so that will actually raise Aggron's special defenses, which means that it could take an attack from Torkoal, although AZ apparently opting for the Stealth Rocks instead, so Stealth Rocks won't be too effective against Steven's Steel-type Pokemon. However, he does have a couple Pokemon that are in the air, so that might be worthwhile in the end. But Torkoal deciding to switch out now, recognizing that it did lose the Weather War and cannot contend with Aggron's increased special defense, and now Claydol coming in. Oh, and it does avoid the Head Smash too! Head Smash would do a reasonable amount of damage even on something like Claydol, but Claydol is quite a wall, and on paper is probably the biggest threat for Steven's team defensively, especially as it sets up Reflect here as Skarmory comes out. So we've got two big walls here, although now Steven's physical attacks are going to do far less, so we'll have to see how he wants to deal with that, although Claydol is going to switch out and Torkoal coming in, now being able to set up the weather as it wants again. So AZ resetting up Drought, especially in the face of a Steel type, that is a very good move, as now Skarmory is going to go for the spikes, so Steven actually deciding to set up some hazards of his own, and quite good ones at that, as most of AZ's team is actually limited to the ground, although Steven now withdrawing, not wanting to take a drought-boosted Lava Plume from this thing, as Cradily now comes in. Now Cradily's part rock typing will make it actually take this neutrally, so Lava Plume hitting it and not doing much at all. Oh, although it does get the burn. The burn is not a good situation no matter what. Cradily does have a special attacking set, so it won't actually have its physical attack lowered in any major sense, although Ancient Power now coming in on the Torkoal, doing a good amount of damage, bringing it below half already. Torkoal staying in and going for another sun-boosted Lava Plume. Not doing much at all. Cradily is a very bulky Pokemon, and on top of that, it does have the Citrus Berry, it seems, so restoring its health quite substantially. Now, the range is very close on Cradily's next turn if it does decide to go for Ancient Power, and AZ does stay in. Yeah, you know, I guess the point is here that yes, Torkoal's gonna go down. Most of AZ's Pokemon are also weak to the Grass typing. So AZ not wanting to lose his way to an Ancient Power Omni Boost or even a Giga Drain prediction, or maybe a Giga Drain on the next turn, because nothing he has, I don't think, can take out Cradily in one hit from this range, as in comes his Golurk, the ground and ghost type Pokemon, and Steven is going to make the switch going into Skarmory, perhaps anticipating a ground type move of some sort. We'll have to see what AZ wants to go for, as those Stealth Rocks doing damage on Skarmory, and it turns out to be Ice Punch. Oh, and Skarmory does have the Rocky Helmet, so it will get some recoil, the Golurk that is, as Golurk is now going to switch out into Sigilyph. Now, Sigilyph is an interesting Pokemon, does have some coverage moves, as Skarmory, oh, Steven predicting the switch and going for some more spikes, so he's loading those up steadily as the battle goes on here. So that will rack up more and more damage, although Steven now going to withdraw, perhaps anticipating a fire move or an electric move of some sort, as Aerodactyl comes in, so evidently he's thinking a fire move is coming in, especially, I guess that is a good read, because the sun is up, so yes, Sigilyph going for the Heat Wave. AZ aiming to make that sun-boosted fire move do a lot of damage, although it will be resisted by Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl tanking it quite well, as now Sigilyph is going to withdraw and go back into Claydol. Claydol is a Pokemon that one would imagine would wall Aerodactyl quite hard. Yes, Aerodactyl going for the Rock Slide. A powerful stab move, although Claydol absolutely eating that up. So now we'll have to see as the sunlight goes down, what does Steven want to do to counter this Claydol, because it is causing some big trouble here, as Aerodactyl switching out and in comes the Metagross. Oh, Steven's ace Pokemon on the field now. Stealth Rock's not doing much against that Steel type. Oh, and predicting the Psychic, knowing, of course, that Claydol would not go for a ground move against Aerodactyl while it's out. So that was a very good prediction, and it will afford the Metagross the opportunity to be able to use the Metagrossite, Mega Evolving on the field. Mega Metagross is now prominent. Let's see what this thing is going to do against a Claydol, though. Oh, it does have Ice Punch. Ice Punch is a massive move. Claydol does survive, though, and is able to respond with a stab super effective Earth Power. That should do some major damage. Whoa, Metagross actually tanking that pretty well. Mega Metagross is an absolute beast, and yes, AZ recognizing it turns out his star Pokemon has had its time to shine ended by another Ice Punch, and now Golurk coming out on the field. Golurk is a great counter actually, even for something like Mega Metagross, although it does get hurt by the spikes upon entry. Let's see, yes, Steven realizing he probably doesn't have enough power, even with Ice Punch, to be able to take down such a bulky Pokemon, as in comes Skarmory again, a great counter, although those rocks incrementally doing more and more damage, as now, whoa, Golurk going for the Rock Polish. So AZ knowing that, you know, Steven was likely to switch and getting the speed boost now, but only has Shadow Punch as its best move, getting hurt by that Rocky Helmet. And the unfortunate thing for AZ being that Steven has a lot of offensive EVs invested in his Skarmory, so yes, it will be able to do enough with Brave Bird. Perhaps AZ thinking that, you know, Skarmory was just purely defensively oriented, so it does get the range. However, Skarmory is now at very low health as Sigilyph comes in, and yes, Steven, whoa, no! Skarmory actually avoiding the Heat Wave. What the heck is going on? As Skarmory now able to get another Brave Bird off on Sigilyph, doing some good damage it looks like. Yes, almost half, although Skarmory will go down to that recoil. So Skarmory sacrificing itself for the greater good of the team, as in comes Aerodactyl again. That perfect counter for Sigilyph. It will even be able to outspeed it as fast as it is. And Aerodactyl going down to the red immediately upon entry due to those rocks. But now Sigilyph switching out. Let's see what AZ has in store. Going into the Relicanth now. Relicanth, the Pokemon you don't often see in competitive battles. It will be hurt super effectively by the spikes, of course, but now Rock Slide not being able to do much. Relicanth tanking that pretty well, and let's see what we've got happening on the next turn, as actually, come to think of it, Aerodactyl could not switch in again with the Stealth Rock still up, so it is going to go for the Thunder Fang, although it's not enough damage. So now Relicanth able to respond with the Waterfall to take down Aerodactyl. So two Pokemon going down, basically 2 turns in a row for Steven, as he now sends in his Cradilly, kind of his trump card in this battle, as the rocks hurt it. It is burned after all, so that will do some extra damage, but Relicanth now going for a Head Smash. Maybe Steven a little bit of an underestimation here, as yes, Cradilly going down to the Head Smash. Head Smash is a massively powerful move, and Relicanth does have a decent amount of power behind it. Many people wouldn't think so, but now Excadrill coming in. Excadrill is a great counter for even Relicanth, being able to outspeed it, unlike Cradilly, and going for the Earthquake. That is almost undoubtedly going to take down that Relicanth. Yes, Relicanth going down, as AZ is getting low on Pokemon count here. Let's see what he wants to do against this Excadrill. I have a feeling, yes, the Sigilyph is the best answer. Does have a Heat Wave after all. Hard to say if that would be able to KO Excadrill from here, so yes, Steven is going to withdraw. I don't know if he even had a move that would take down Sigilyph from this range. It is relatively bulky. And now Aggron coming back on the field. Not weak to the fire, of course, with that part rock typing, so yes, it will absorb that pretty well, although I'm not sure if the second will get a range to be able to do it. Let's see. No! Aggron surviving on a sliver, able to get off the massive power Head Smash to KO Sigilyph as well. All of a sudden, AZ is down to 1 final Pokemon. And for those of you familiar with your AZ lore, you will know it is, of course, his signature Florges, which has since evolved from the events of X and Y. Let's see what it can do here. It's going to go for the Giga Drain. So yeah, Steven realizing, you know what, if I withdraw Aggron now, there's no way I can send it back in with the rocks, and just staying in there. And AZ trying to scrape a little bit of health back with that Giga Drain recovery, and also it looks like maybe having leftovers too. Yes, the leftovers recovering it even further, almost to full health, not quite, as in comes Mega Metagross. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. Mega Metagross versus a Fairy type. I think there's almost no hope here, as the former champion of the Hoenn region, boom! Meteor Mash clobbering the Florges, which never really had an opportunity to shine against a Steel team, and the former champion Steven emerging the victor and scoring a point for the Hoenn region.